And Scripps News correspondent Patrick Terpstra joins me now from Capitol Hill. He's been tracking Kristi Noem's nomination to lead the Department of Homeland Security. I see he's now actually in the D.C. Bureau for us, so I presume that nomination hearing has wrapped up. Patrick, any fireworks during that hearing? Does it seem like Ms. Noem has the support of committee Republicans?
Yeah, it really does. In fact, a lot of the senators at the hearing today basically saying they expect her to be one of the first nominees to actually be confirmed. And yes, I am in the newsroom because it wrapped up before lunchtime. And Nate, as you know, that is an indication of just how little controversy there really was. This is a sitting governor, somebody who served on the Hill as a congresswoman for 8 years. So the questions weren't so much about her qualifications. It was more like, what are you going to do once you are actually the Secretary of Homeland Security? She talked a lot about immigration, saying that she is going to swiftly carry out President-elect Trump's plans to crack down on immigration. They're going to wind down a humanitarian assistance program that allowed people from certain countries, including Haiti, to come into the country temporarily. Also, they're going to turn off an app called CBP One that expedited processing for some refugees. At the same time, really trying to, quote, seal the border, something she said time and again, while also carrying out mass deportations, beginning with people that are in the country illegally who have criminal convictions. But immigration is just one part of the huge portfolio that Noem will have as Secretary of Homeland Security. It also includes such things as FEMA and, of course, making sure that all of the agencies beneath them that deal with disasters are well funded and that aid is getting to where it needs to go, and also preventing terrorism, something that was on the minds of a lot of people just a couple weeks after that attack in New Orleans. Louisiana governor was actually on hand for this and said, of course, this Super Bowl coming up in Louisiana is something that he is thinking about, and this will for sure be on the plate of Noem if she is confirmed as the Secretary of Homeland Security. Take a listen.
Homegrown terrorism is growing. We have more and more incidences. The tragedy we saw and the terrorist attack in New Orleans.
What will you do to combat it? What will you do to stop ISIS and other extremist organizations from radicalizing people in this country?
Well, certainly, Senator, I'll continue to work with the administration and our partners and the Department of Defense, the intelligence agencies, also within Secretary of State and the other branches and cabinet officials to make sure we're bringing all resources to bear to identify and to stop these types of terrorist activities.
Noem indicated that a lot of changes are in store for the Department of Homeland Security. It's an agency she described as dysfunctional. She says that she wants to strengthen cybersecurity protections, but also scale back disinformation. She wants to make sure that those attempts to keep disinformation at bay aren't the big focus anymore of DHS, but instead to look at other things. This is something conservatives have really been pushing, Nate, all in the names of First Amendment protection.
Yeah, Patrick, you touched on this a minute or two ago. Much has been said, though, about Trump's desire for these mass deportations. Again, you touched on this lightly about trying to deport violent criminals first. Did Noem testify about what those would look like? I mean, CBP has fairly limited resources. DHS has limited resources. How does she want to enact these mass raids that Trump has called for?
It was interesting. Actually, she really did not get into details that at least I was hoping she would, because it's something people have been asking. There are some serious logistical and financial challenges when it comes to deporting millions of people in the country illegally, which is something that President-elect Trump says he has a mandate to do. So where would the money come from? How would they detain people once they are perhaps rounded up? And how would they make sure that they get out of the country? Those are questions that this administration is going to face as early as next week. It's really something Noem did not get into, but she made clear that this is going to be the top priority of hers when she comes in to leading the Department of Homeland Security. Nate?
It'll be really interesting to watch this all unfold, obviously waiting for a final date to be set for her actual confirmation to the position of Secretary of Homeland Security. Scripps News national correspondent Patrick Terpstra here in our D.C. Bureau for us. Patrick, thank you.